I prepared a good shiur for today, and I don't want to start with it yet
Okay.
because I think there are going to be some other people a little bit late, and they'll be here. So some Hagdamot, okay? This is the third volume of
Danny Matzo.
Danny Miles-Yépez translation, which is an excellent job. Hi, Michael. Shalom Aleichem. It's a very beautiful. It's a very beautiful translation. Yes, it holds nice, the book, and they do something very lovely. They publishers who care for things, and I had to ask the publisher for my book too, that I didn't want white paper. I wanted it to be cream.
Mm-hmm.
It first got to me in one edition of the Chabad Siddur where they did put it out, and that's the one I like to daven for. So I asked myself, what attracts me to that? Because a slightly off-white makes for a much better thing. So it turns out that there was a interpersonal psychology. Do you remember who did that? They had a place in Washington and whoops.
Common Boundary?
Huh?
Common Boundary?
No. It was at that Boulder gave some lectures in there. There was interpersonal psychology. It was a guy who did that, and I forgot his name right now.
I don't recall right now.
White or something like this. I'm not sure. So what happened was that they had a journal, and that journal was always published in yellow with black. When I first saw that, I felt it was sort of a shtus, a narishkeit. What do you do that for? But it occurred to me later on that when somebody is a psychologist and he works on perception and sensation, that he would have a good idea. He would use it. Very often you have some psychologists who are teaching education and the learning, and in their classes they don't apply what they actually say. So how did I get onto that?
White pages.
White paper.
White
Cream.
pages, right. So in that siddur, they did the same thing, and it's much more pleasant. And I want to say it about this book here too. It's on this off-white thing, and I'll pass it around so you can take a look.
Okay.
And that is one thing. Another thing here, what
Nice form.
I've taken some of my nigunim and those that I remember from before the Holocaust, and Eyal Rivlin has been transcribing them for me, and I hope to have them ready for the summer when we're going to be in May to have them available. And they're now being also done with the chords for guitar.
Wow.
So that's
You gonna
really
make a
very
CD?
lovely. Huh?
Are you going to make a CD to go along with it?
Yes, there will be a CD with that. That's necessary because, as I've seen very often, when it comes to a nigun, for all the ways in which you can write this out, the phrasing is never there unless you can hear it. So you need to be able to have that there too. All right. There is a thing that I'm working on, and you're going to hear me repeat this, but I'd like to sort of try and get into it to find the right kind of language, because it's been a problem that it lose language, okay? It goes like this. There are the people who are saying, I'm interested in the facts. And if I know what the facts are, I'll base myself on the facts. And those people have been trying to find out how many people were there in Egypt, were we in Egypt at all, you know? Who wrote the Torah and at what time was the Torah written down? From what documents was it put together? And you get all the people are doing this very factic stuff. And imagine you now have all the information about this factic stuff. You have no motivation to do any of Yiddishkeit. Because then you are at the very end of the chain of history, and you say, I'm the maven who's checking it all out, you know, and I don't need to do anything about that, because I see it's all sort of historic, evolved, developed, and so on and so forth, and I don't feel bound by that. Okay? In opposition to that, there are the people who will do Midrash as fact. And when the sea split, it was very clear there were 12 passages to go, you know, and on the way through there was to eat and to drink came out of the walls of the water, and they found diamonds and everything else on the way through, you know, and you get the description that Midrash gives it. And the rationalist inside of us says, come on, come off it, you know. It wasn't like this. The worst thing is that when you think about Shlomo HaMelech's Beis HaMikdash, how big it was. Wow. You know, it was such a great place and so on and so forth. Then you go and check out the dimensions that are described in Tanakh. And I suppose there are many shuls that are bigger than that Beis HaMikdash was at that time. Shlomo HaMelech built it, you know. So you see what I'm getting at? There is always this issue between where are you with the facts and where are you with the myth. When Reconstructionists with Kaplan came about, it was very clear that Kaplan wanted to go with the facts. And what he was left with was, you want to live like a decent human being, you want to be able to keep your morality. He is the one who translated first the Mesilat Yesharim of Lutzato, a good book on Musar, you know, to teach us the right way. And he figured that if you understand this as folkways, that's very fine. I can live with folkways. And it has a pragmatic thing to it. And so let's make it a Jewish center, not just a shul, and so on and so forth. And he came with that. When, on the other hand, he was asked, where are you with the Midrashic stuff? It wasn't for him. So then comes Jewish renewal, and at this point it says there are 4 worlds, and the facts are only in Asiya, and there are some other things that are fact-like, but they are subject to different laws. In other words, the laws that are the world of Yetzirah, what makes a fact in Yetzirah is something that I can't measure. When I say I love you, I establish a fact in Yetzirah. It's a reality in Yetzirah, you know, to the point that we even can feel it in us. It's for real, okay? But for many people, it would have been only seen as aesthetics, okay? It's nice stuff, but it's only aesthetics. When you go to the world of Bria, the facts are made altogether different, because there the question is not, everything could be said. You can build any kind of house of cards from concepts if you want. They could be right, they can be wrong, they can be false, they can be true. It doesn't matter, because you can build it. What makes it good, what makes it true, is that it is coherent. And so when you have a coherent system, that says it's It's truth. Again, it can't be measured in the world of Asiya, but there it becomes a fact. The hardest thing is to talk about what makes a fact in Atzilut, where we don't have even words that we can use. There's no handle that we can have in Atzilut. So, and there, the facts are made remember that chant we used to do, I am because I do, I am because I feel, I am because I know, I am because I am. Okay, there is an element of knowing in which I know myself, and that is not a knowing that I could even explain to other people. And when we go back to the place that we are not only creatures created out of nothing, but we are also God. And that part, doesn't normally get into the cheshbon of how you do religion. And so that's what we wanted to bring back to in Jewish renewal, that there should be the understanding that there are facts outside of the world of Asiya. Hi, Brucha haba.
So you said in the world of religion, but do you mean, like, for example, in Hinduism, it's more present, right? Or it's more
What?
that you are God is more prevalent in the daily usage.
Well, you know, it's one thing to talk about it. Like Rabbi Yitzchak came back from Mezerich, and his father-in-law says, "What did you learn in Mezerich?" He says, "That there is a God." He says, "Chalamiro," he calls the girl from the kitchen. "Come on in. Tell me." He says, "Who are God?" And she said, "Avade." So Rabbi Yitzchak said, "Sie redt und ich weiß." She says it, and I know it. Okay. So you gotta understand that there is an element. Not everybody who says Shivoam is Shivoam, Okay, and so it goes. All right. So what do I want to say? As a hachone for the ordination, I'd like us to be able to make a kind of an attunement that first of all says, it's going to happen as a fact here. They'll get their paper and so on and so forth. But we have to meet on another plane, And on that other plane is where the people who gave us smicha are, and the ones who gave them smicha are, and so on and so forth, on another plane. When we meet on that other plane, we can also constitute, you see, my skin keeps me from your skin, But when I go to the facts that are made in Yetzirah, like I love you, what happens is that there's such a mingling. If I say to someone, I love you, and kamayim upon him, there flows it back, that sense. So we have mingled it, we have become one on that place. I want that ordination to be happening in that field, okay? Where we don't say telepathy so much about knowing what the other one is thinking, but feeling together over distance, telepathy. Okay, so I think it's time we should start learning now. Here's the material for today, and I'll send around one on one side and one on the other side, okay? Well, let me take the top one. Sure. So that I have it. Yes. Okay. And I tell you what I've chosen here, because every Hasidic text on Vayigash bases itself on something that Rabbi Melech of Lizhensk has. So you will see that there is that place, number one, says Noam Elimelech. and we'll begin there. And then I want to go to the other sheet, the second sheet, that has the Piaseczner stuff on. And I want to give it a quick reading, if I can, without much commentary after I'm done with Noam Elimelech, okay? So that you get a sense of the flow of his thought, and then we open it up to Shmuz. The only niggin I know that has something to do with Rabbi Elimelech is the one that's called Rabbi Elimelech's Tanz. You know the dance that goes over under? You've never seen that dance? It's like London Bridge is falling down, you know, and people holding that, and then duck under the other. Okay, so it goes like that.
Over under the electric slide.
So, several things on Vayigash. The first thing is that you should never begin reading Vayigash at Vayigash. You have to back up, at least to the place where they find the cup, Amtachat bin Yamin, and where the whole scene starts out, and so on and so forth. Because when you start with Vayigash, it's like you start with Vayikra. You forgot that at the end of the book of Shemot, the Mishkan was all put together and was filled with the presence of God, that Moshe Rabbeinu had to go out, you know, and then Moshe, Vayikra, Moshe, so he calls him in. But if you start with Vayikra and you don't know what's happening before, you know, you miss that this is like saying, we just finished the Mishkan, now I'm going to tell you what to do in it. And the connection isn't here. Here the connection is so important, because to take Yehuda and to stand up and to give that powerful soliloquy that he gives here, that breaks the heart of Joseph at this point, that's a very powerful thing. And so you don't see it this way if you don't see the scene before. Then all the, and if I can get a chance to read from the son of the Slonimas, the current Slonima Rebbe, the point they're all making is, could you imagine them being more lost than at that moment? They said, the one that they had, you can kill him, we're all going to be your slaves forever. It looks like the fear that they had, how at which point most people are cowed. And Vayigash Elav Yehuda, and Yehuda wasn't cowed. So where does Yehuda take the power from? So they all say when everything is lost and you can turn to God, that's where you get the power. Vayigash Elav Yehuda. And so I'm reading you the Noam Elimelech, okay? O Yomar, Vayigash, ki chamocha kefaro, yesh lomar, מאחר דסתם הכתוב, דסתם הכתוב ולא נאמר אל מי גש, רק אליו, סתם, נוכל לומר דקוי על הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהצדיק נקרא יהודה, והוא מגיש אליו יסבורך שמו בתפילה להספלל על עצמו, ויאמר בי אדוני, ואל ייחר אפך בעבדך רק תמי תגדול חסדך עמי, ואל תדקדק, Achar Masai, Ki Chamocha Kefaro Pirish. Now watch this, how he's doing this. Ki Chamocha Kefaro Pirish. למה תדקדקי ממחר שבלתי אפשרי לכונן את מחשבותיי לדבר אחד, ולפעמים תחזק מחשבתי, לעלות במחשבתי, למעלות גדולות העליונים מדרגות צדיקים שהם כמוך, שהצדיק גוזר והקדוש ברוך הוא מקיים, ולפעמים תחלש מחשבתי ולהבל דמה, מעשה תעתועים, כפרו, שהוא אותיות עורף, שהוא רמז לקליפה, וכי על זה תפקח עיניך לדקדק אחר מעשה לכן עשה עמי צדקה וחסד וקל להבין, okay? Now this wonderful thing of recognizing how sometimes I am kamocha and sometimes I'm kefaro, and that's a very upsetting thing. I remember during in Toldos, I was quoting Rabbi Melech when he was saying, when Rivka was saying, Im kein lama ze anochi, you know? So he was reading it, Im kein, if to good I feel drawn, and to evil I feel drawn, you know? Im kein lama ze anochi, what point is there that God should give us the Torah and say, Anochi Hashem Elokecha? So the answer is, Shnei goyim b'vitnech. It's not the same, it's not that you are mixed up and everything is crazy in you. There are two drives inside of you, Shnei goyim b'vitnech, okay? And you have the capacity that Ulom el-om yemas, but v'rav yavot tza'ir. Rav is the older one. Who's the older one? The Yetzer Hara, who comes with birth. Who's the younger one? The Yetzer HaTov, which comes with bar mitzvah, okay? Do you see how they work that out? And so he knows about the pain of being kamocha kefaro, sometimes like this, sometimes like that. Okay. So he has Vayigash Elav Yehuda, that has something to do with davening. Okay. So on this sheet, right after that, it says Parsha Vayigash Tav Reish Tzadik, which is 1930. Is when the Piasetzner did this. V'navinna hagam ata amad etzlo v'diber imo. It's not that he was far away and then he got close to him. V'chein ki kamocha kefaro. What kind of an expression is that? Al pi poshet hayoloma ata kefaro. וכן הוא פירש רש"י על ויפול על צוואריו שקרא קריאת שמע. למה דווקא אתה? ואם הזמן קריאת שמע היה, למה יוסף לא קרא? It's interesting how he takes the midrash and says, what was he doing with Yaakov Avinu? That he fell on his neck, and what did he do? Instead of kissing Yosef, he said Shema. So now he's raising these questions, and but that's his entrance, okay? Ita במדרש בתנחום בפרשת נוח שלעתיד ישראל יעבדו אותו יתברך בשמחה, שנאמר עבדו את השם בשמחה. אבל העכו"ם יהיה עובדים ברעדה, כגון אדם שבנו משרת לפניו משרת בשמחה, אומר, אם אקלקל מעט לפני אבי לא יכעס עלי שהוא אוהב אותי, לכן עובדו בשמחה. אבל העבד אנוכי משרת ביראה, אומר אם אקלקל לפניו כועס עלי, לקח עובדי ביראה, עד כאן לא שנה מדרש. So Midrash does a very strong contrast between those who serve out of love and those who serve out of fear. And he has the Ovdei Kochavim being the ones who serve out of fear, and apparently they're serving God out of fear at this point. But the fear is, they know that they better do it right or else. Whereas a child always has a sense, it's all right, I'm learning, Papa isn't going to be that angry. All right. והנה אף שרדת העכו"ם ירד בחטא הוא שמא יקלקל, מכל מקום נראה מהמדרש ששמחת ישראל בשעת עבודה יותר טובה היא, ולא על העתיד בלבד נאמר, רק על העבודה של עתה מרמז המדרש. Because here we're saying in the Midrash, he says, La'atid, meaning when Mashiach will come, that we will serve with Simcha. So he says it's even now that this is so for us. Why? Because Ha'isha Yisraeli tzarich tamid ubefrat kodem avoda lira ve'larod. Before you get started doing the avoda, if you don't have that sense of respect that what you're about to do, a little awe, a little dread about doing what you're doing, ולא מעני איש הקרוץ מחומר שפל הברך ובכל מעשי פועל אני למעלה. אם עובד אני עבודת הקודש גורם אני גם כן למעלה. מתקן תיקונים ומאתר אותי יתברך באיתרין אליין. ואם חס ושלום להפך שאני איני עושה כשור גורם פגמים אני. פגמים בשמות הקודש וקלקולים בעולמות העליונים הן שמיים לא זכו בעיניו כמלאכיו ישים. ובמלאכיו ישים תהילה, איך אוכל אני להמציא לפניו יתברך הן בעולם הזה, להימצא לפניו יתברך בעולם הזה, ומכל שכן בעולמות העליונים שכולם קדושים. וכל כך ירא ויפחד עד שירא לגשת אל העבודה, כמו שפירש רש"י, כארון שהיה ירא ובוש לגשת אל המזבח, and that he was able to do it Vayas Kain Aaron Melamed Shelo Shina, that for all the trembling about what he was attempting, he still was able to be grounded enough not to spill the oil when he was doing the menorah and so on and so forth. That's great. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak said that because it was Sukkot morning, he was up all night to be able to do the mitzvah of Lulav and Esrog, and in the morning he got so excited when the sun had risen that he put his hands through the china closet glass door, from this excitement. So cut his hands, all that, because he was so excited about the mitzvah. So then he was asked, is that the way to do it, the way you do it? No, he says, because Aaron did it right, That's why the Torah gave him so much credit for all the excitement. I'm lighting the menorah, I'm going to turn on the Mishkan now to become conscious. Wow, what I'm about to do, I better do it right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So he says it's very good that we should have that attitude before we do a mitzvah. Okay.
And can I ask a question here?
Sure.
Is he making a connection to that Vayigash moment?
He's going to get there. You got to give him, This is so wonderful because what happens
I'm not rushing, I'm just smelling it.
It's a macrame. And this is hanging. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. But then here says, so I told you to be in respect and in busha and really how you have to approach this thing. But וביירא בושה זו יהיה קודם שפותח בעבודה, מה שאין כן כשפותח בעבודה, אם גם אז יפחד ויתבייש, לא יוכל לעבוד מאומה. It's like stage fright. If you had to get on stage and remember your parts and so on and so forth, and will I remember, and there's always that heightened excitement and adrenaline comes up and but then when you get started you have to do your stuff and get into it. You can't stop thinking then anymore, am I going to do it right, am I not going to do it right? So he's saying here, when you have to leave. לכן אז צריך לחזק את ליבו ולומר בין כך ובין כך השם בחר בי לעובדו ועבודה תפילה אין למעני רק לבד, רק גם צורך השמיים, למלא את רצונו יתברך שרוצה שעבדו ויתפלל אליו. שמפני אהבתו אלינו מתהווה לתפילתם ועבודתם של ישראל, ואני ממלא בזה את רצונו ואהבתו יתברך. לכן בטוח אני בהשם, שיקבל את עבודתי ותפילתי. ואפילו אם אחר כל אלה רוחי לא תהיה נקייה לגמרי כמו שצריכה להיות לפניו יתברך, לא ימסני בגלל זה V'tatov shebar yikabel. That is such a wonderful way in which he says, you know, I didn't make myself, I didn't place myself in this situation. Hashem asked me to do it, knowing all my flaws, knowing all my aberrations and all the shtick, and nevertheless he gave me the job to do. So he knows what he's doing. Give him, he knows what he's doing, and if I'm gonna have some flaws in what I'm doing, so he will know to leave them alone and not to count them into the work. That sense, for instance, that the weavers of Oriental rugs had, the Muslim weavers of Oriental rugs, would always make a mistake in it, because only Allah makes perfect, you know.
And the Native Americans do that too.
Yeah,
And Artur Rubinstein did that too.
yeah.
And when he'd play a symphony, he'd
Yeah.
throw in one clinker. Pretty cool.
And leave it to the critics to find out which one.
Well, if he would listen, say,
IKEA does
where's
that.
really?
With each little shelf, there's something off always.
Well, that's good. So now he continues. Mashal gufni, im eviim leish le'echol eze davar, az im ein retzon ata le'echol rak machrichim oto sheyochal, az im nimsa be'ochel eze shemetz miyad moez bo ve'nena ochlo, ma she'en ken im misavehu ata le'echol, af im yesh bo eze shemetz motzi et ha-shemetz ve'ochel et, and here we go to that other sheet, the double sheet over here. כמה פעמים שאינו מרגיש שהוא בין איזה הרגשה וניצוץ טוב, מפני שנכבו טרם נסוורדו בגופו. I don't know whether I did the right one.
Oh. The right continuation.
Yeah, let's see.
It seems like it.
I think so too, but just a moment.
It might be, but it does feel a little funny. No, it doesn't.
All right. It is the wrong page.
Oh no.
It is the wrong page.
Interesting.
Okay.
The et,
I Ching, we're going to have to put it together.
the et is the clue, there should be a ha.
Is this this is where we started, yeah. Yeah, we have it, thank you. Oh, you need it.
Is this double page?
Because
I'll take it down.
We're trying to reify what I'm saying, that we need to
Just hold on
find
for a
good
second.
that's-
It's not the same size. Just take it down one. Okay, yes.
Even though there might be a little pilpul, not to worry. They're gonna focus on the toe.
It's just not perfect. It's on purpose.
So what's the mashal he's giving? Is it shmutz? That's shemetz?
Yeah, he's saying that sometimes you get into a situation where you are, you find something that you don't like, and you don't like a particular kind of food, and you aren't hungry. In other words, he says you have no cheshik for it, right? No, what are you gonna do? So something isn't right, you know. So you're gonna drop eating the whole thing because you don't have an attraction for it. But let's say if you really like it and you find something else, so you take it out and you put it aside. And he's saying that the relationship that God has with us is like the one who likes the food. So if there's a shtickle of schmutz, so what? He'll put it. And I like shemetz, schmutz, you know, that pun that's in there.
Isn't he telling us also as Rabbanim?
Pardon?
Isn't he also telling us as Rabbanim to, when we have Ahavat Yisrael, that we need to treat people this way too? I mean,
I think so. That's if we don't learn from that, then what's the point, right?
Right.
Yeah. This other, I know how I made the mistake. Okay.
You're forgiven.
I was just,
Because the other piece that I wanted to learn, and that is on this page, which we are not gonna throw away. Go to that paragraph on page Samach now, that begins Siba Gedola Lazeh, okay? Because that's really important stuff, and I may not have done the right job in mimeography.
Okay.
Can I just make one little comment?
Huh?
Can I make one comment about that mashal? Because it just makes me think, like, on Shabbos you can't take out the shmutz because it's boreh. So on Shabbos you have to just accept the whole thing and you can't put it aside.
On Shabbos we have a neshama yesera, we're in a better place, and so on. And we can smell the cholent all the way upstairs. Okay, Yashikaya. He is a fantastic cholent maker. So read that shtickle with me too, okay?
Yeah.
Siba gedola hi lazeh, al she'ein ha'adam bechlal makir, mahu nitzatz kedusha bo.
I ran short, I'm sorry. I have to make a couple more. I'll just make a copy.
He began by saying, he's dealing here with the issue of depression and worthlessness, okay? All of us, Baruch Hashem, have a shtickle of that comes up. And he says, most people don't realize that in that feeling of worthlessness, there's also some kedusha in there. So follow him here. Ki al pi rov bar belibo min daga al matzavo hanamuch, ve'no choshev shedaga zu min hitgalut kedusha hi, v'dome shekamo shehani rachman azlan, kasher makir et risho v'doig alav, she'en loma shedagato zo ashirit hi. Are you going to say that he is rich because he has such a sad thought about his poverty? Gam Cain gam hu shedoig al anias nafsha chorbana v'hidrachkuta yachshav edaga zu lemin hitgalot shel kedusha. You know, he's asking a question about his assertion that he has made. He made the assertion that when you feel a sense of worthlessness, there's kedusha in it too. Then he starts saying, well, how could you say that, you know, because it's like a person will say, I'm so much of tzoris, you know, I haven't got anything to eat. Look how rich I am, you know. It's baloney. L'chein kasher ba'a lo daga zu nishar yoshev v'domim u'lefamim od min yush ole bo. He despairs. Lomar kvar rabu pegamai ubechlal kol matzavi gas at shegam ani shakua ba at tzavari gam kein רואה זאת, ואפילו אם 100 שנים אחיה, האם אוכל לעלות מן הרפש הזה עד שהגיע על כל פונים בתחתית הקדושה?
He really knows he's in her.
Well, he knows that abyss, right?
Yeah.
He describes it like up to the throat of mine. ולא ידע שגם דאגה זו, שבירת הלב זה, מין התרוממות הוא. והוא דואג אם אוכל בכל שנותיו ליגה בתחתית הקדושה וכבר עתה השכינה הקדושה בתוכו כביכול עושה בביגדו. This is so beautiful. He's saying he feels himself so far away from God that he will never be able to reach him, and he doesn't realize that ata noten yad laposhim, that right here in this, that he should have this thought is God's caring for him. Okay? And then he says, "V'hakabayachol." This is a wonderful Yiddish expression. When you wanted to say God and you were wanted to say, you should excuse the expression, you know, so you call the Rebbeinu Shalom kabayachol. So der kabayachol alein, you know, that's how people say it in Yiddish, and he has it here. V'hakabayachol ochez bevigdo. And you know what bevigdo here means? Bevigdo, beboged, and his rebellion. Behabgam be'atzmo, uvedagato al nemichuto rachman l'slam oches Hashem, ve'omer lo chazor bach. This is God's invitation. V'utzarich lomar lenafsho im Hashem esli achazti v'lo arpenu. If the Rebbeinu Shalom is with me at this moment and giving me this impulse, how can I let go? I'm going to hold on to him. V'lo arpenu es dabek ata b'kedushato yitbarach. ויקל לי לשוב ולהיטהר, ובאורו יתברך אשא ואילך. Isn't that wonderful how he puts that? I wrote on the side here, you see the note, Mamrim hayitem im Hashem. Even at the time when you were in the middle of your rebellion, you were im Hashem. Okay, that goes with the shtikala.
Beautiful.
כי ראשית התגלות בבעל תשובה בכלל באיש במצב נמוך יכולה להיות רק באופן זה, מבחינת החזר הקדוש ברוך לירובעם בביגדו ואומר לו חזור בך. How the Midrash describes how God takes hold of Yerovam at his garment, and that fits, of course, the word of his rebellion, because he was rebelling against Rechavam and the line of King David and broke off the people from there. Well, someone went upstairs. Let's see what happens.
I could play. You don't have to knows that door's ringing. I'll open it. She's at the door. Oh, she went to the door? Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So he's quoting the shtickle about Yerovam, and he says Chazorbach, Rak bevigdo kanal miloshen bogei, וזה שיראה את מצבו הנמוך, וכפי שדיברנו, הרבה פעמים באה הדאגה אף בלא תשובה. לא שבא לו רצון שישוב על פגמיו ועל ניחותו, רק דאגה גרידא שרואה את עוניו, ואדרבה דאגה שרק מבכה את עצמו ואת עבודתו שיעבד לפי דעתו בדלות בשפלות הגוף והנפש, רק בביגדו אוחז הקדוש ברוך הוא, בעוד שהוא רחוק מן התשובה ואומר לא באינו. When I think sometimes of the bungee cord that the Rabbi Zalman holds us by, you know, you can go, you schlep yourself away, and so it, you know, reels you back in, pulls you back in. Reb Nachman has such a wonderful image of that. He says, Klippe, the system of Klippe, is there. It sucks up every bit of Kedusha that it can. So it wants to take you away from the Lakus, and here you're drawing it in, you're taking it into your... And the Klippe takes it in. And Klippe is now ungeschwollen, you know, like swelled up. Like, have you ever had to deal with a leech? Okay.
Lake Winnipeg.
Yeah, so you see how they really get big and ungeblosen and so on and so forth, right? You need salt to get them off. They're not that easy because they have sort of, the suckers are so strong on you. So Reb Nachman describes how, and the more the klippe absorbs, the more the klippe wants more. So it isn't satisfied to have absorbed them with little averalach. Now it wants to get him to the big avera. At which point a Jew gets to a place where he can't do the big avera. So at that point, Cheil Bola Vikiyano, then it has swallowed up a whole army, that evil system, but it has to regurgitate it, has to give it up. And at that point, when a person does that kind of tshuva, he takes along all those shtikalach and brekalach that Klippe has absorbed before. And because of the energy of the longing was so great, they go fly directly into the heart of God. So, because so strong was the gaguim, okay? So we have now the other sheets here. I'll get back to this in a moment. Now go to the bottom of the first page. Where is it a new one?
This?
No, not this one.
L'chein
One on
yesh.
the top, yeah. That mom, that's the one.
This one?
Yeah. Thank you. Lachein yesh lefamim. Have you got that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to read from there on. לכן יש לפעמים שהאיש מרגיש בקרבו איזה התעלות והתקדשות, רצונות, תשוקות והתלהבות הילאה, ומשתאה על עצמו, איך באתי אני, איש המגושם למצב עליון כזה? ואומר, בטח רק מרמה אני את עצמי. אבל זה הכל במי שאינו חסיד, שבאמת אי אפשר לו לעלות למעלה, מי שקשור הוא בקרבו לעצמותו ומחיוסו, אינו נותן לו לעלות. מה שאין כן החסיד, שיכול לומר לעצמו, משליך ומפקיר אני את כל עצמי ובשרי, ואני קופץ עד הקפיצה למעלה מהם, יכול הוא שער לעלות מהם באמת בלא רמי, אף שנופל אחר כך. מכל מקום יכול לבוא אחר כך אליה באמת כמו ביציאת מצרים, ולא שאומרים אנו בזה שלא יביט החסיד על עצמו ולא יעדכן את חסרונותיו, אדרבה. רק החסיד יכול לראות באמת את חסרונותיו ופגמיו לתקנם. All right, the point he's making here, that's the strong one. There are some times when we get filled with a holiness and a fervor that we cannot claim was our work, you know? It's like I feel a hitlavut, and it's not mine. I haven't worked on that. Yet at the time when I feel it, I feel so good, so holy. At the kichamocha, yeah, I feel I've already reached something. I'm inflated by that, okay? And it's wonderful. But then what happens, it goes away. And when it goes away, I say, oh, this was just fake, this, you know? It was an aberration, it wasn't for real. One of the reasons that I give for people for why make Havdalah is to be able to say, the Shabbos wasn't a lie. You know, because you live a high Shabbos and then you go into Monday and forget and you say, Shabbos must have been a lie, because how could I be in this space where I am now if Shabbos were for real? So we say Shabbos was Shabbos and we made Havdalah, and now comes another situation. To be able to recognize that you make Havdalah. Here he raises the question, what happens if you have that momentary beautiful theophany inside, warm feeling and so on and so forth. And you might feel you're not up to it. This isn't yours and you're a fake. So here's Reb Zusha and Reb Elimelech. I love to tell this story, you heard it before from me. They're making their way oprichten Golis, which means what? They take on extra exile stuff. They don't stay in one city more than one night, and then they go on, and they are beggars and so on and so forth, all to experience that which Bernie Roshi is trying to take people to do on the Bowery for 3 days nowadays. Mm-hmm. He's doing this wonderful retreat, the street retreat with people. So where was I before Bernie Roshi? Huh? Pardon?
Rebbe Melech.
Oh.
In Galus.
Yes, and Rebbe Melech and Reb Zusha in Galut, right. Mm-hmm. So, but they're in the field, and they're experiencing a Shabbos, wonderful Shabbos. You know, there's this brook, they went to mikveh beforehand, they prepared whatever they had, they davened Nishmas Kol Chai in the field, it was just wonderful. Great, holy Shabbos. And Shabbos is over. They say to each other, you know, we're pretty good at doing Shabbos, aren't we? Does that mean that we're really in touch with Shabbos, or is it that we have gotten so good in jazzing us up to get Shabbostic, you know? You can feel
Nochach
this
Pnei
question,
Hashem.
huh?
Nochach Pnei Hashem is
Right.
there.
So they're asking, is it a fact in Atzilut? They're
Huh?
asking, is it a fact in Atzilut, or is it a fact just in Yitzira?
You gotta wait and have patience. That's what you call catching the fish in front of the net. You know, hab nicht the fish from the nets. You gotta wait. So when they feel this experience about themselves that maybe it isn't genuine, maybe it is it's false, they can't continue anymore. They have to go and see their Rebbe. So they leave whatever they're doing, the journey they're on, make their way to Mezrich, and they're going to ask the Maggid how to deal with that issue of the litmus paper for the soul, the litmus test. Which way is it? So before they even get a chance, he gives them Shalom Aleichem. He says, I know you have a question, but I want to ask you a question first. Where does the Shabbos go during the week? So at this point, what can you answer? I mean, the week is week and Shabbos is Shabbos. Where does the Shabbos go during the week doesn't make any, it's not in space. But the Rebbe says up. That's where it goes during the week. When people like you make the hachanot and do the daven and do all that thing, and even if you did it on a Wednesday, you were in touch with Shabbos. You brought the Shabbos down from where it had gone up, okay? So that deals with that issue of genuine, And I think there is no absolute litmus test of whether your motivation is pure. Because at the moment that you're asking, is my motivation pure, it's already not pure. You're already hoping for a better result than you might get, or whatever. You can't even interrupt your own process that way to ask this question. So now he comes up and he says, so how are we going to deal with stuff of this sort that is only temporary, okay? So he says, you can see all the problems with you. Do you remember that statement, Kol hanegaim adam ro'eh chutz min nega atzmo? Originally it deals with the Kohen Vera HaKohen et HaNega, and when it comes to diagnosing somebody, whether they're Tomei or not, they're being told that the Kohen can't diagnose himself. Ein Adam, Kol hanegaim adam ro'eh chutz min nega atzmo. You can see other people's, but not their own. The Musar move is now Kol hanegaim adam ro'eh chutz min nega atzmo. You see everybody else's fault, but you don't see your own faults. Okay. Now comes another twist, a Hasidic twist. Kol negaim adam ro'eh kam min nega atzmo. Every time you see something on somebody else you don't like, how do you notice it? You have it in yourself already. It comes min nega atzmo. And so this is one of those Mamari Chazal shagur befihem. They always would use it. Kichol hanegaim adam ro'eh chutz min nega atzmo. V'kevan she'eno yochel lahafrish min asmusa latzeis mehem al kol ponim eno yochel lahabit v'liros bekirbo es kol hachesorim k'mo sheroeh bezolosa. What I always am so impressed by the Piasetzner is how he can take us into his introspection. He's teaching us about this thing. What you see in other people, you see the full contours in other people of something that's wrong. But you don't see the full contours in yourself of what's wrong. And he's saying, you don't see it in the same way, okay? It has something to do with the blind spot, blind spot. I don't see my blind spot. If I want to notice my blind spot, the eye doctor has a place, he says, look over here, and if in your peripheral vision that dot that's over here will disappear, That's where your blind spot is. Get it? The entire retina is going to absorb light and will work with the light, except from that place where the nerve endings come in, and that's the blind spot, and so therefore I can't, there I don't see, okay? Psychologically, we also have a blind spot, and it's very much related to what Gurdjieff liked to call the chief feature inside of you. It's that mistake that you always keep on making, but in different form. You know? It's that basic flaw. But that very basic flaw is also what is so beautiful and attractive about that person. You take a piece of glass that you can look through and it's not attractive. But an opal, which is sort of like a broken piece of glass that has different facets inside of brokenness, you know, it reflects the light, it is very beautiful, and so on and so forth. So on the one hand it's flawed, and on the other hand it has beauty. So every one of us, whatever is our chen, is from the higher levels of that flaw. In other words, on lower levels that flaw becomes a vice, on higher level it becomes a virtue. Right? So you can see it in every one of those situations. So he's saying, but we can't see our own blind spot. And in the Gemara it says, David HaMelech Shomer al Atzmo lo chosid ani shekol malchei mizrach u'marav yesh magudas agudas b'chvodem v'ani yodai meluchloches bedam v'lo oida shekol sha'ani ois ani nimlach b'mefiboshet Rabbi v'omer lo mefiboshet Rabbi yafadanti. And then I go. So now he's saying what's going on. All the other kings are looking out for their covet, and David HaMelech works for his people. How does he work for his people? Because of all the shilas that people are asking Rabbonim, the shilas that are not so nice shilas are the ones that deal with afterbirth and with the nida blood and stuff of this sort. And why is David HaMelech trying to do that? So that he would be able to say to a woman, you are clean, you can be with your husband. Kedei lataher isha levala. Okay, got that? And then he says, moreover, so yadai meluch lachot badam shapir v'shalya, that's how the Gemara continues. And not only that, but everything I talk to Mepiboshet. And unless Mepiboshet says you have done right, I don't do it, okay? So you have him here very much like a lamdan. I just want to ask, this is, forgive me, here comes a shtickle apicursus, which from Factic Universe, which I can't withhold at this moment, okay? There seems to have been at one point in the time of the Nevi'im Rishonim, a conflation between Baal and Yud-Heh Vav-Heh. To the point that Baal was known as Rakub Arapati, the rider of the clouds, and in Tehillim we have Rochev Ba'aravot Be'yashamo, and the bet is not necessary there. And the likelihood is that it was Baal Shemo at one point. Okay. Moreover, when Shaul HaMelech named his children Ish Baal, you know, Mipi Baal. So by the time, and we still have 2 or 3 places where they're called Mipi Baal or Ish Baal, but the rest of the time we called Mipi Boshet. So they kept the bet, and then they put a shin and a taf to say that this is a shameful situation. So David HaMelech studying, checking with his own robe, Mepiboshet, which has a sense of saying he wants to know from God's mouth. Okay? All right, end of the apicursus, we go back. So, Kol Malchim Mizrach Umarav Yoshev Magudas Agudas Bechvodam Hainu Sheim Ugadim Umekusharim Al HaKavod. Very nice how you put it. everything that they do is for their own covet, you know. This business that a president of the United States gets to have a library afterwards is such a covet connection, you know, because how will this fit in my library, what I'm doing now, you know? So the mikusharim mugadim mit the covet. Vel hanoah shelahem ad she'einem yecholim lifrosh mehem, they can't let go of the covet. V'ani aneni meugad lahem ve'yuchal lahashlich mikol atzmi et kavode lahashpil ad atzmi liot yadayim meluchlachot. So David HaMelech says, and I'm prepared to leave that covet. ובשביל זה יכול אני להסתפק בעצמי עם מעשיי ודינai tovim heim. Because I am no longer bribed by my image, by my self-image, I'm not doing it anymore for my covet, I can then be sure that I don't have to have a doubt whether I'm doing it right or not.
He said it again.
Huh?
Say one more time.
All right. He said, בשביל זה יכול אני להסתפק בעצמי עם מעשיי ודינai tovim heim. I can go ahead and come to a right decision because I'm not looking for extrinsic motives there. Okay? Remember that the issue is like this. If I am interested that this person that the outcome of my examination should go in this direction rather than in that direction, the likelihood is I won't be able to make a clear decision on that, because I'm already bribed from the beginning by my own motive, right? So he's saying that David HaMelech isn't so. אבל הם כיוון שמוגדרים עצמם אינם מרגישים שום חיסרון בעצמם ולא שום ספק, עד שישאלו על עצמם אם טובים הם וכל מעשיהם. They don't have any doubts about their own action. They're so involved in what they're doing, okay? וכיוון שמשליך החוסד, no. So this was an excursion over here with David HaMelech. What he was basically saying is that if you're a chassid and you know about the ups and downs, because you're going to experience the ups and downs, by recognizing that you're not working for yourself, rak l'shem Hashem, kevan sheb'shal zu ein atzmo beruchik mimenu hu, ואף אם לא בא עוד למצב של עבודה שלא לקבל פרס, מכל מקום שעות ורגעים טובים עולות בו, וכיוון שיש בו זמנים של עבודה לשמיים, מקבל השם את הטוב שבהם, אף אם יש בהם עוד איזה פגמים. Remember he had this thing with the food before? What I'm going to do isn't going to be perfect. But at that moment that I feel the invitation to come and to pray, to participate, to interact with the Rebbeinu Shalom, when I'm doing that, for that moment, I'm not going to worry if it's going to be perfect or not. I'll leave it up to Hashem to take the good part. There's another place where he was saying something that gets to me so strong. I wish somebody would write. I've been bugging a person that he should write his doctorate on the Derech HaMelech, because he has such wonderful radical ideas there, and they're not radical in the sense of wanting to go out, but wanting to go up with them. Let me show you something. He asked a question during the Hanukkah teaching that he had in Vayigash. It is said that God also fulfills the mitzvahs. So how could God fulfill the mitzvah of eating matzah? So he says, we are the vehicle through which God fulfills the mitzvahs. Now, when you get to see this sense, he doesn't have a sense of identity with God on the outside. he has a sense of, he's not saying that God is on the outside of creation. If God is everything there is, then God is inside of me too. Then this moment that I'm experiencing something good is also God doing this inside of me. Sometimes I tell you that in the morning my kavona goes of saying, Rabbi Shalom, you decided to play Zalman another day, I'll try and give you a good ride. You know? Because soft, that's what it is, you know? So the best thing that I can do is recognize this. ובכלל השמחה בעצמה שבעבודה מועלת לישאלוסה כי עוז וחדווה במקומו ובואו לפניו ברננה אין לו בשער מלא בלבוש צק ועצבוס פושט הוא השמחה היא החיים ועצבוס היא המסתר דמייסר רחמנוס לון והילד שמח. They all have the statement that the child is much closer to creation. Reb Nachman someplace says, why is it that everybody loves a baby? Everybody loves a baby. Yeah, that's why I'm in love with you. Why? Because the baby is still so close to the moment of joy between the parents. And the farther away you go, you know, the farther you go from that moment of ecstasy, of joy. It's a beautiful statement. Okay, we continue. And this one here too, just a moment. So see the next paragraph? The point he's making in this paragraph, he says that simcha is what gets you up. I think I told you that story about my mashpia giving me a dig on the side when I was trying to daven with a quetchy face. Right? Aus schon geprüft mit Guten, because simcha really makes such a wonderful change. וזה גם עניין לימוד תורה. כי נודעת הגמרא על כל חפציך לא ישבו בו, אפילו חפצי שמיים. שאפילו המצוות אינם שורש לתורה, ונדעת הקושה. הרי יותר רק פרוטי המצוות שכלוסם והלכסיהם היא. אבל על פי שכל אנושי רואים שאף המצווה לבנו עושה כך וכך מבני השכל וטעם אשר במוח האב. אז השכל קודם במוח האב, ומני מוצא את הציווי לבנו. ואם הבן מקיים רק פקודות של האב, אז הוא מגיע רק למדרגה התחתונים אשר מתגלה מאביו בציווי. ואם מחפש בגין זה אביו לבוא עד שכל אשר במוחו עולה, ולמדרגה בעליון מהציווי למוח האב, לכן השכל בתורה ישראל הוגה בו למעלה מן העשייה גרידא היא. Stop. The big kasha is, since all the Torah that he's studying is dealing with Torah and with mitzvahs, and doing the mitzvahs, so why should we say that Torah is higher? Okay. So he says, imagine a father tells a child to do something, and the child does it, but the child has no idea why the father wanted him to do it. So that way, the child will always depend on the father to have to say what to do. And he won't ever learn as to why to do that, because he has never entered into the seichel of the father. So he says, when you study the Torah about a particular mitzvah, you get into the seichel of it. Okay. ומכל מקום, יש עוד לעיין בדבר, למשל, אילו לא עלה במוח אביו המצווה מקודם, לא ידע שיכול לצוות לבנו. אז גם השכל של הציווי לא היה עולה בו, רק מפני שידע מקודם שיכול לצוותו, ויקיימן לכך חושב בשכלו מה טוב עבורו ומה יצווהו. All right, now we're going to take an excursion and leave the books. No. Huh? There was one piece of paper I wanted to look at. I don't see it, so we'll do it without it. This week, we're going to have a lot of stuff happen, and it's going to be powerful stuff. And unless we get the meta kavanah clear, the deep underneath kavanah of it all, we're going to be dealing with all kinds of details and so on and so forth, but they won't cohere together. Let me spell that out. Some people are going to get smicha. So on one level, it means that they have fulfilled their obligations, and the Vaad has decided that they should get the smicha, and the words will be said, and the papers will be handed, and so on and so forth. But what was the kavanah of the people why they sought smicha? What was the kavanah of the people who supervised the Vaad that they should give smicha, and what lies behind that, which is not only what we are doing, but what is being done through us. For years I've been talking about the need for transpersonal sociology. That when we already have been talking about transpersonal psychology, which is to say there's more to a person than what's inside the skin, and there are higher levels of soul and of consciousness and so on and so forth. So we talked about that. What we haven't seen yet is a theory, if you will, or a process that would want to be able to bring together, let's say, if we say on Shabbos we have a neshama yesera. And if you understand, neshama yesera is not like another shtickle gefilte fish, but meaning on a higher level, that we are attuned to a different vibration of neshama on Shabbos than during the week. Now, if we do this alone, then we are always, in our own bubble with this. But there happens something wonderful when we are together with other people and we are saying Kadosh, 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 and we are part of that, and we are lifting Gadlu, Ladonai, Iti, Uneroma, Shamo, Yahdav, and you get that sense, this is what we are doing. So we are going into another place, and in that place we want to pool our soul resources. That's the best way in which I can put it, okay? It's like when we're going to get together for the smicha ceremony, I'd like us to be able to make this kind of yichud, b'shem kol Yisrael, to say that we are going into this realm, and in this realm we are not afraid of mingling with each other. Lefi sha'ah, we are opening ourselves to make a vayakhel, Vayakhel Moshe, that hakhel et ha'am, that we become a kahal at that point. Now, if you start figuring about that, and I give you a mashal. In computing, there's still some supercomputers like the Craig and so on and so forth, and they have memory and memory and memory and speed and can do all kinds of things. But they're very expensive. So from time to time, people have taken and yoked up 4,000 CPUs together in parallel, and they call it a connection machine. On top of those 4,000 sits one computer who distributes the data to those other 4,000 who work them through, and then they bring them back, okay? So there is, at this point, in a much cheaper way, done by all these CPUs working in concert together to produce a fantastic consciousness, if I want to say it this way, okay? Now, if I can think of us working together, if we could say, you know, in that echad, that we are doing this all together in such a way that the we is taking over the I in such a way that this is a very powerful thing. And we haven't learned enough of what the rules are when you do that. But when you look at, I love that Mishnah that's in Brochus, where they're talking about Ketzat Mezamnim, Shlosha Shlosha, V'hu Asara Asara, V'hu Mea Mea, V'hu Elef Elef, V'hu. Finally it goes up to Shishim Ribu when you have to say a whole, I can imagine how you would invite all these people to bench together this wonderful way, you know. But you could see that there is an understanding of, what's that word? On a slide rule, you have a way in which things get...
Logarithm?
Yeah, that's right. There's a logarithmic way, you know, of the more minds can get together. It is not only in addition that this adds up to more. It also has a lot more power. Exponential. Right.
Very nice.
Right. And that, if I could start asking myself right now, we'd like to have Arik to have a refuah shalema, if it's all possible, to come back to all of his koiches and to be able to do what he has set out to do, and to bring about peace in that place. And you know, could you imagine if all of us could at that point, you know, v'yisoyu kulam la'ovdecha, all of them coming together at that point, and to be able to, you know, put that energy out into the world, to be able to do it. And most of the time I think we can only talk about it because we haven't learned how to do this yet. And I would like to see that during this week we could keep the meta kavanah in front, which would be that I'm a chelik of this ohala. You know, I'm not... I remember once going to, and I will not mention the name of that rabbinic association that had its kala, and I could see people walking around, each one with his own geschäft. This is who I am, and this is my congregation, and you know. And I hope that we don't do that. That we can, you know, say this time we're coming together. This is what we have to do. And we want, first of all, we want Yahadus to be healthy, vibrant, and we want this for the sake of healing the planet. And these are if we can keep that better motivation going through our deliberation, through everything we're going to do, then I think it's going to be good.
Amen.
Amen. So it's time.
Okay.